Hey, good morning. It's Randall with the Philippines Project. And this video has been about 2 weeks in the coming because this is about my medical update and the things that I had to go through. And so I want to keep you updated on my medical stuff and see how everything's going. Well, long story short, and it is kind of a long story if you have to go through the process. I'm going to try to make this as quick as I can. Uh, but anyway, because here in the Philippines, things take time. You just can't go into your doctor and, you know, have your appointment, have your tests. Like if I go in back in Missouri, I go in for labs at 8 o'clock in the morning. I get stuck and I wait till about 9:30. My doctor's got everything, and everything's cool. You get all your results. Your doctor talks it over with you and tells you how you're doing and all this stuff. A done deal. But it doesn't work that way here. Everything has got time built into it. I mean, it's just the way it is. So, but on a good note, I got time. So, I just try to roll with it as best I can. So anyway, I first met with a cardiologist. That's what I wanted to do. So I had to talk to him about how I was feeling and everything, tell him what was going on, why I wanted to see him, and then he ordered some tests. And what he ordered some labs. I didn't get all of those done. I got some of them done, but there's a couple that I still want to do. Just drawing blood, and those come out pretty good. Nothing major there. And he also ordered a stress test, which I mentioned in the last video that I talked about my medical update. He ordered a cardio stress test, which I was really concerned about. And that was like on a Tuesday, I saw my cardiologist, and it's on a Thursday. I go in for the stress test, and I went in, and we waited probably 45 minutes to an hour before the person that's going to do the stress test finally came down there. And then you go through, you have to lay down, and they do an ultrasound on your heart, and very extensive, probably 30 minutes just on that ultrasound before they give you the stress test. So, and this was my first experience. So I'm trying to explain. A lot of you guys have given me some great uh, tips and experiences and things like that. And so I'm trying to tell you a little bit. If you got to go through one, this is what you've got to do. So they finally got me up on the treadmill, and I'm all hooked up to all these wires, and it's three phases. First phase is 3 minutes. Second phase is 3 minutes, and the third phase is whenever you reach maximum capacity for you. And I didn't really understand this. I thought, okay, they want to get your heart rate maybe a certain amount, 150 beats per minute. What do they want? I didn't have any idea, but that's kind of the only thing I thought. Well, because they do the echo on you, the echocardiogram, I think they have an idea of how much blood maybe you can put through. And please correct me if I'm wrong, but anyway, it's graded on a percentage of efficiency, or a percentage anyway. And you have to, in order to go through the test, they try to get you to at least 85% of your potential, your maximum potential of everything. And I don't even know what they're really following when they're looking at that echo. Or when they're looking at the results as you're on the stress test. So I get on there, and basically it's just walking, not even that fast. And they raise the incline a little bit. And so I'm walking, and I'm thinking, wow, this is pretty easy. And it was for the first 3 minutes. That was easy. Then they speed it up and they incline it a little bit more. So you're walking uphill, you're walking a little bit faster at a fairly brisk rate of speed for another 3 minutes. And I'm doing good. I'm making sure I'm breathing, and I actually feel great. I had good tennis shoes on. I'm usually wearing some kind of flip flops, so I felt supported. I had a good, grip on the handrail, so I wasn't going to fall over. And I was feeling good. Actually, I really felt good at doing this. I thought, man, I need to do this at home. Obviously, we all need to exercise more, and I have been since then. But yeah, so they turned it up to 3 in the third phase, and I don't think it raised any, but it sped up just to where you could walk fast, but it's almost like it was almost silly because you really needed to run. Well, I walked it for a little bit, and then I just picked it up to a quick jog, and it's uphill the whole time. And I was feeling pretty good, and my air was there the whole time. I never failed on air coming in, and that's a big thing. If you can't get air, it's just not going to work for you. So, and they're telling me, well, you're getting close to 85%. And then they told me, okay, you're at 85%. You can quit if you want to. So I'm like, quit if I want to. So is it better if you go farther? I didn't know. So I asked her, I said, do you want me to see what I can do? And she said, would that be better, give you better results on what, and I'm kind of a little bit out of breath as I'm trying to get this information. And she said, yeah, just see what you can do. So I clicked into it, and I just, for a while, and I don't know, probably 3 or 4 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, I don't know. But then she said, well, okay, you're at 95% efficiency. So, and about that time, my legs started to get, my muscles I'm not used to running. That's just, goes without saying. So I haven't run in quite a while. Probably need to do it a lot more. But my legs were getting sore and you're standing on that incline, so it's kind of a little bit of a burn on your legs. I said, okay, I'm done. So it took just a minute for them to get it shut down. And what I didn't realize at the end of that, like when you get off that treadmill, they didn't tell me this. They want you laying back down on that table, which is right next to the stretch right next to the treadmill. They want you laying down on that table as quick as you can. And they're rushing me. I'm a little bit taken aback and surprised because I didn't know that was going to go. I just thought it was over and, that was going to be it. But no, they flip you over there on your back, and 2 or 3 women are over there. They're moving, putting hooking the machine back up again, and she's doing some tests with the ultrasound machine. She's checking the inlet and the outlet and different things like that. And that took another probably 5 minutes. It was pretty quick on that end of it. The back part of it was really quick. The first part of it was probably almost a half an hour. So they got that done, and so I got all cleaned up, got all that jelly stuff off of me, and I sat down and supposed to wait for the doctor. What I didn't realize, she was actually a doctor that was doing the echo. So that's good. She come out. Finally, we sat down for a half hour, 45 minutes maximum. It was about 5 o'clock in the evening, and I kind of ready to go eat some dinner or something. And she come out, and I can't really explain how there's 3 women involved, 3 ladies there that worked in they call it the cardiopulmo, and they were just from the front desk to those ladies, ultimate professionals, made you feel very comfortable. And man, I was really impressed with the doctor. She finally comes in there, and she's probably 32, maybe at the most. Filipino women look younger than maybe they are, but she was a very attractive woman and very professional and very caring. And she did the cardiopulmonary or the stress test on me and did all the ultrasound. She come back and usually in America, you don't get any result from the person who's taking your ultrasound. They're not going to tell you anything. They want to wait for that doctor, visit to come. And I knew that may be a couple of days. So she come in there and I said, well, do okay. And oh yeah, you did great. You did great. You got to 95%. And that's really good. And I said, so my heart was working okay. I didn't really want to press her. I didn't want to push her to say something that she shouldn't say. And at that point, I didn't even really know she was a doctor. So anyway, she said, yeah, coming into your heart and going out is really good. And you shouldn't really have any problems. And that's about all she said. So I'm still, I had to wait a little while longer to get my test results. And they give you your test results right there. They'll print them out. She had to type them up. They'll print them out, and they'll give them to you as the patient. They don't send them to the doctor. The doctor didn't have anything until I sat down in front of him. That was a Thursday. Until Tuesday of the next week, I finally got an appointment and with the cardiologist, and that's when I was going to get my results. So everything was done there at Medical City in Iloilo City in the Philippines. And so I felt good about it. I felt good that I uh, physically, I felt good that I went through the test and I didn't have any issues. I didn't have to stop. I didn't have to, because I have had those situations where I was just wore out, but I didn't have that at all. So, I make the appointment with the cardiologist and I'm waiting and waiting and worrying over the weekend and, try to go to sleep at night. And I'm a little bit of a worrier. I don't know. I think I'm really in pretty good health. Uh, every time I've really worried about it, and I've got some issues, but I think my heart's in pretty good shape. So anyway, I get to the cardiologist next Tuesday, and I hand him the papers. He didn't have any, pre look or anything like that at the paperwork or the lab tests, and so he looks at it. He said, "Well, everything looks pretty good," and I had read the report as best that I could, and it's full of medical jargon. And a lot of stuff I didn't understand, but I know what the aortic valve is, and I know what a mitral valve is. And I kind of looked and examined and went through Google at some of the thicknesses, and I had to look up the difference between, um, and I hope I don't get this wrong. Let's see. Well, one of them, stenosis and sclerosis. Okay, there's two different terms used on that result, and stenosis is bad. That's the narrowing of the arteries. I didn't have any stenosis, and sclerosis, it said I had some on both my mitral valve and my uh, aortic valve, but it said that they were fully opening and closing, both of them, and there was no obstruction, no problems with them opening and closing. They weren't like hard to open. And I looked at a lot of videos, and some of them they get calcified and they won't fully open and they won't fully close, and that's when you're in trouble. And that's when you're looking at a heart valve replacement surgery, and those can get pretty pricey. But anyway, I looked up all that stuff. You can imagine, if put yourself in my position, what you're going through in your mind. That's the biggest thing you got to overcome is your brain and overthinking everything. That's what I always overthink everything. I make everything harder in my brain than what it should be. And so anyway, that turned out great. We went out and had a celebratory dinner. There's a Vietnamese place, so they have Vietnamese food right there, just down from the hospital there in Iloilo City, and oh yeah, I want to make sure and tell you this: the stress test, the echo stress test, cost me $200. I didn't think that was bad at all. I mean, she spent a lot of time with that the ultrasound machine and the stress test, and three people in there, and the whole 9 yards. That was 200. That was 10,000 pesos, so less than $200. So I put that on my HSA card that I've got, and the first cardiologist visit was 700 pesos, which I'm going to say, what, $12, $14 for a cardiologist visit? Are you serious? That was fantastic. And so that the stress test was $200 and or less, and then what else? My labs were like $27. I mean, all of this is out of pocket. Okay. So, I mean, that wasn't bad at all, I didn't think. And then the second visit, I think, he's a doctor at two different hospitals. So I went to the second hospital where actually seen him the first time. And so that was about 800 pesos. So, for about $40 in office visits, $200 in tests, I got the information I needed. And as far as I can tell, and one of the key things he said that I want to pick up on is it has to do with my blood pressure. I can sit down like right here. I can sit down 15 minutes and I can take my blood pressure here at the house, and I do it often. And my blood pressure would be 120/80 just about all the time. But if I get up and walk to the refrigerator and come back, or walk downstairs, come back upstairs and sit down and take it, it's liable to be 160/100. And that's a pretty wild fluctuation. And I never really understood that. And knowing that about myself, and you may be the same way, I don't know. Somebody tell me if that's normal for you or not. But still, that's pretty high blood pressure, like on your arteries and stuff. So that's a lot of pressure going out. So what he told me was, he said, "Well, your heart's a muscle," and I knew that. Like any other muscle, it'll get weak if you don't exercise it. So you need to exercise your heart. And I said, "Okay, that makes sense." So if you have a stronger muscle pushing that blood, it's going to be able to push that blood out through your arteries into your body and get that oxygen rich blood into your body a lot easier than if you have a weaker muscle. Okay. And I don't know why I never really grasped that concept before, but it makes total sense. So, if I have a really strong heart, and there's nothing wrong with my heart, they found no blockages whatsoever, nothing. And, but I just know that if I have a lot stronger muscle there, then I think those fluctuations will start to drop. I did know this, the best thing you can do for high blood pressure is exercise. A pill will help, but exercise will get it down a lot quicker. And I have got my steps up. I think I'm average about 3,000 right now. I'm getting ready to go out to the property today and check on the property. And so, but that's my health update. That's 16 minutes. So right now, and but if you have any other questions, anything like that, I was just thrilled to death. I was thrilled beyond measure that I was okay, as far as I know. Of course, we all know anything can happen, but I do have a trip coming up to the United States from the end of August until the end of November. I will be back in Missouri, and then I'll come back home here to the Philippines after that. But I was really up in the air with this whole situation because, what if it messes up my trip? What if I have to fly to Manila, get my surgery? Because that's what I was going to do if I needed one. And you can imagine all the scenarios run through my head. Got to cancel the plane tickets, all this kind of stuff, and it's just a mess. So I'm really happy about the results. I just need to work on my health, and that's what I plan to do. So if you have any questions or comments, go down in the comment section right now. I'm going to get off here. I'm going to go to Guimaras and enjoy looking over the property, and I'll take some footage there. So I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.